What's up, my comic book aficionados? It's JayRoC right here. Today I'm gonna be hitting you with another graphic novel haul. We got a few hardcovers, a few trade paperbacks. Trying to tone it down on the paperbacks, try not to get too many of them. Mainly because anything that's in paperback, usually they have a digital option, or they sell the exact same trade with the same material, same extras, and so forth. But here I made an exception because I'm going to get volume 1 and 2 of the Massive and make a hardcover. So I'm working on a few projects, stuff I want to make in hardcover. So this is the Massive Omnibus Volume 2. I had the 2 library editions. I sold them. They were nice looking, huge books. The thing is, the interior art inside, I didn't think it's anything that warranted big oversized pages. I was like, I'm fine with the regular size and it'll take up less space and so forth. But I do still want to have the story itself. It's written by Brian Wood. The artist here says Gary Brown, but I believe there's 2 or 3 different artists on this series. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't read the whole series yet, but I read enough of it where I was like, I like it and I want the whole thing, right? The cover artist, J.P. Leon, phenomenal. I love it. I've never seen his interiors before, but I love his covers. They're very artistic, very attention-grabbing. It's almost like a collage. It's like 3 or 4 different drawings, all in one with no borders. Like one drawing goes to the next without a border, kind of like stuff Michael Turner does. I really enjoy that. I find it creative. So yeah, this is volume 2. You might be asking, why didn't you order volume 1? I did, it just hasn't got here yet, right? Bought this one used on eBay, volume 2, because it wasn't available on in-stock trades or cheap graphic novels. So I got it on eBay pretty cheap, like $6. It's a bit dinged up. But like I said, I'm not tripping on that because it's going to be turned into a hardcover, so it's all good. It's the front cover. This is the spine right there. Nice spine by Dark Horse. This is the back. It says right there, big, huge letters, Brian Wood, Gary Brown, the Massive. An incredibly smart, hyper detailed, and extremely good. What this about is, so let's flip through a few of the interiors here. Thin paper, you know, it's a trade paperback. The paper is always going to be thinner. There's some of the interiors, glossy paper, you know, like your magazine paper. It's about 300, it says here 372 pages for $24, so that's a pretty good deal. Good amount of material. If you just want to read it, it is the best price. And if you enjoy the art or whatever, you want a more premium format, they do have that option. If you just want to read the story, there's a good affordable price. Basically, this story is about, it's kind of like Waterworld, where there's not a lot of land left. It's just a lot of ocean. And people are fighting over land and over resources, right? Because there isn't a lot of them. But there's a little bit of land that there is. They're starting to like try to create like apartments and like a little city, if you will, stores and so forth. And this little area that does have land. That's as far as I got on this book, but that gives you the vague idea of what it's about. Look at here. This looks pretty cool. I like the way they went with these colors here. It's like a light green tone. I guess it's supposed to be like a flashback to before the world was the way it is. So yeah, the art is a bit simplistic. It's not the most detailed thing, but it does a good job telling the story, right? Which is the most important thing, depending on who you ask. But yeah, let's skip to the end. Get one more page. Look at here. This looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool right there, that panel. Now at the end, you get a fair amount of extras. You get the covers right here. What's this? You get some other info. I'll be reading all this later. But you get the covers right here. This is volume 3 and 4 of the trade paperbacks. This has very cool covers. So yeah, it seems to have a good amount of extras back here. Oh, look at this one. Some just raw pencils. I like to see art in raw pencils as well. kind of see before the inker touches it or the color is, just to see the process and the difference. All right, so I can't wait to get this going, and I'll do another overview once I have my project finished. All right, the next book I got up in this piece was Fist of the North Star. This is it's kind of popular, got hyped up. I know nothing about this. I'm not too familiar with it. I did not grow up with anime, so I have no real nostalgia to it, to the stories themselves. But I remember playing the game back in the day, so that was pretty sick. And I remember it was kind of like it was one of those games where you kind of you're playing and you know it's not that good, but you keep playing it anyways because you feel it's gonna get better. That reminded me of the Ninja Turtle game. Before the Ninja Turtles arcade game came out, there was a Ninja Turtle game for Nintendo. It was not a good game, but as a kid, I put so many hours into it just because it was the Turtles. Knowing it wasn't good though, but it had the Ninja Turtles, right? So that one, that Fist of North Star reminded me of that. So I got nostalgic in that way. I was like, I remember this name. I remember these characters. I played that game as a kid. So it made me want to pick it up. People make fun of it, saying it's a lot of toxic masculinity and so forth. Again, I've never read it, so I have no idea. But it looked pretty cool, so I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and check it out. This is volume one. One thing that caught my attention about this is that it says the storyteller is Buronson, and it says art by Tetsu Hara. Usually, manga tends to have the same person writing it, draws it. So here it had two different people. So that kind of piqued my interest immediately. It kind of tripped me out. So yeah, let's flip to a few of the pages and let's check it out a little bit. This one, it's bigger than your regular tankobon, but it's smaller than your Western comics. So let's measure right here. This goes about 8.5 by 6. 8.5 height, 6 in width. So yeah, you see here it has like a, I don't know if you could tell right here, like a glossy thing right here. I don't know what that is. It's some type of map or something. I know it's gonna be important later because it has it volumes. And look at this guy. He has all kinds of bullet shots. You know, it looks like he just like he's from the hood. You know, everybody around here got a bunch of bullet scars and so forth. So it looks like he just grew up in a bad neighborhood, right? And there's the spine. Got a little dent right here. Side. And volume one, Viz Media. All of this media, they do this. They're like these hardcovers are one. They're basically 2 volumes in one trade. And I know there's some books that are 3-in-1s, but they're paperbacks. Not necessarily from Viz, but just in general from other manga. And I like that idea of 3-in-1. That sounds like a omnibus to me, because the Western comics omnibuses is usually 3 hardcovers, and then they put them into one big omnibus, one big hardcover. So these do the same, but in paperback. These mangas. Let's check out some of the interiors. The inner pages here is like a burgundy type color. The first pages are in color right here and they're glossy. So that's pretty cool. It'd be cool if the whole manga was like that, but traditionally manga is always in black and white. So here it says, it seemed all life had perished. The seas dried up, the earth split, but humanity survived. So it's it's like a post-apocalyptic, very Mad Max, Road Warrior stuff. You see all the Road Warriors here. Um, they remind me a lot of even the wrestlers, the Legion of Doom, or they used to be called the Road Warriors, with the shoulder pads and mohawks and so forth. That's clearly where they got their gimmick from as well. Okay, so after you get past the first few pages, it's paper stock, newspaper type print, and it's in black and white. Holy shit, look at this. This guy just punched through this guy's fucking head. So it tells you how it's very testosterone driven, very extreme, man. Shit's insane right there. So let's see the next pages here. Here's our main protagonist. Nice 2-page spread. We got all the bikers right here, the biker gang. I enjoyed the Road Warrior movies back in the days. I haven't seen them in like 20 years since I was like, young. I haven't. I don't know if I would like them now. I don't know how they hold up. I have to go back and revisit them. I did like the newer one that came out a few years ago, maybe 6, 7 years ago. That one was enjoyable. So hopefully this is just as good as that movie. Let's check out the last pages. See if there's any extras. There seems to be some paragraphs and so forth here. A few bonus content. I'll read that later once I. I'll read that later once I read the actual book. Now I did go ahead and pick up volume 2 as well. I'm not gonna pick up any more till I read these two because I don't wanna commit any further until I read them and see if I enjoy them or not. Because I know it's I think about 17 volumes, so it's gonna be a little bit of a commitment. All right, here's the next book of the haul. This is the Phantom, the DC Years, Volume 1. So there's going to be 3 volumes of this. The Phantom's a character I've always kind of been interested in because I do like that pulp stuff. I like Conan, The Shadow, Doc Savage. I don't know anything about Phantom. I've never read his stuff. It's also never really been available. They have a few hardcovers of older material from like the 60s, and that's usually not my bag. And also, it's out of print. It's a lot more expensive. So that was an easy pass for me. But this is from the 80s. I do like 80s comics, and 80s and 90s are the big bulk of my collection. I have a good amount of 2000s stuff, but I haven't actually read it, so I can't really speak up too much on the stuff from that era. And yeah, I'm just excited this came out. There's gonna be 3, so it's not too many of them. It'll be a quick collection. You know, it's not a big undertaking. And this is printed by Hermes Press, a smaller company. I am not really familiar with it. This is the first book from that publisher in my collection. And yeah, so let's just dig into it. It's written by Peter David, so that was the icing on top, right? So I was like, all right, Peter David, solid writer. Here's the spine, thinner book. The dimensions are like your typical Marvel hardcover. Here's the back. It's a $50 cover price for like 220 pages or so. So it's not the cheapest thing. But again, it's not Marvel or DC. It's a smaller company. They're not gonna make as big a print run, right? So they don't get the same discounts like for mass producing. Okay, here's the interior. It's like a gray it's a gray, different shades of gray, and it's like comic panels. The paper right away, it's real thin. You can see right through the paper on back right here before I even flip the page. When you go like that, you definitely see the art on the other side. Very thin paper. You get the extras and stuff on the front of the book as opposed to on the back of the book, how it's usually done. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm gonna read this to the end. I'm not gonna read I'm gonna read the story first, then the extras. Here you get some artwork there. That's from a more modern book. It's not gonna be like the artwork you get in this book. It's an interview with Peter David, and they talk about the Phantom movie a little bit. This stuff, these interviews and so forth, back in the days, you used to get this type of stuff in the Wizard magazine. So it's cool to see that now you still get that same material. It's just presented to you differently. It's now it's in the omnibuses, the hardcovers, right? You don't need to buy the Wizard magazines, which I was a big fan of. I collect the Wizard magazine, Game Pro magazines. I used to like to read a lot of interviews from the video game creators, comic creators, rap source and Word Up magazine, Source magazine for the rap. Hear the rappers interviews. They used to get a lot of interviews on MTV back in the days. Not so much anymore, right? It's that MTV is a whole different channel now. It's just a regular channel like any other network. Before it used to be specifically for music and for the young generation. So yeah, you still get some of this stuff here, so that's pretty cool. Let's go to the. It has a fair amount of extras. Okay, now here's the actual issue. Right away, I could tell right here, the printing, the reprint value is not there. It really makes you appreciate Marvel and DC a lot more. When I look at this, the paper's thin, the price is higher, and the colors seem kind of muddled. But again, they don't have the budget that those big publishers do. So, you gotta go in there knowing that. And again, like I said, I'm just happy it got made, period. I don't expect them to make a lot of money off this character. It's not a very popular character. So yeah, at least they're making these books. Oh, look at this skull here. This looks badass right here. There seems to be a tribe here. It's like a tribe in some type of jungle. It reminds me a little bit of King Kong. So yeah, pretty cool. Can't wait to read this. Let's flip to the end of it. That's the end. No real extras at the end of it. This looks more like how. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check online, get a few panels of the actual original comics, the single issues, and compare them to this just to see how off it is, or maybe it's just me in my head, but I doubt it. It seemed like there was quite a bit of difference in it. The last book of the haul is the big boy right here. It's an omnibus. I regret ordering on this one because when I ordered it, like a week later, this shit went on sale on in-stock trades for $50. I paid 72 plus tax. I was like 78, I believe, or 80. And right now it's at $50 right after I ordered it, went on sale. But at least I got this cover. The one that went on sale is the other cover, which I don't like as much. So I was like, at least I got this cover. But if I had waited, I would gladly take the other cover and save, an extra $25 or so. But oh well, it is what it is. This is Savage Sword of Conan, Volume 5. Now this one I didn't go with the variant cover, I went with the regular one. I usually like the ones that have the original art, but I was not a fan of that cover, and this one I enjoyed the way this one looked. And here we got Michael Fisher, Roy Thomas, Bruce Jones, a lot of people on this one. Ernie Chang, Gio King, John Buscema. This is the spine. You've seen one Conan spine. You've seen them the back. This is the cover that would have been on the DM cover, the one that's on sale right now. So you guys want to grab it. $50 is a good deal for this book. I just wasn't a fan of it. It looked simplistic to me. Let's remove the dust jacket so we could get into the book a little. So let's go ahead and check out some of the interiors. The inside is like a light brown, almost sand color paper. First page, pretty cool. They always start off with a cool page in the beginning. Most of the cover art on these magazines is really good. Look at the pages. You could immediately see the art that's on the other side of the page. You can see through it. So there you go. Here's some extras. These Conan books, they always hook you up with the extras. You're not gonna get shorted on that. There's a lot of bonus features and material. This cover here is killer cover. That's when Conan's at his best to me. I like him when he's fighting big creatures, eels, demons, whatever, right? Look at here, he's fighting a ghoul. Introduction by Roy Thomas. Here's like the same picture but in bigger. And it's never a sword and sorcery or fantasy book without a map. You gotta have the map because there's a lot of kingdoms, a lot of towns. So you gotta know where each one is at. So you gotta have a map to show you the way, right? It does add a lot to it, keeps things in order. So here you're gonna have quite a few different artists. Let's see here. Let's just breeze through some of the pages, see what looks interesting. Conan can't swim. Damn, come on, homie. If you can't swim, you're gonna drizzle. Look like he's on his way out. Imagine he gets taken out by just the river and he can't swim. Oh shit, that would be crazy. Look at the art right here. This looks really good. To me, John Buscema is the man when it comes to Conan. To me, he's my favorite Conan artist. Again, I haven't been exposed to a million of them yet, but I do know Barry Wintersmith, John Buscema, and I've seen a few others, and he's my favorite. And I know a lot of people like Barry Wintersmith. He's okay, I guess. That to me, his Conan's a bit thin. I picture Conan being a big, huge guy. Like one of them WWF wrestlers. Look at here, he's just choking this guy out with brute strength. That looks like Buscema's art. I like here too on the top, it says February 1981. So it tells you when each magazine, look, March 1981. Look at the detail on this page. Immediately, it looks like it's either a different artist or a different inker. All of a sudden, it got a lot more detail. Look at this page with the lion. That shit looks sick. I'm really enjoying this right here.
And the art on this is really nice. This art here just got a lot better than that other panel. Let's flip to one more. He's getting in some sword fights. Issue 62 shows on the top what issue it is. That's pretty cool. I like that. That way you keep track easier. We got some type of look, some Tiger Man, like a mutated half tiger, half man. This look like it's gonna be a good one. The one I'm really hyped for is the next one, Volume 6. That's gonna have stuff I'm a little more familiar with, stuff I read, some Chris Claremont issues. That's probably the first Conan I read was the Chris Claremont stuff on Savage Sword because I recognized the name Claremont from X-Men, and that was my sort of like my introduction into Conan outside of the movies and cartoons. And I highly enjoyed those issues, so I can't wait for Volume 6 to drop. I'm not gonna bore you flipping through the whole book. We're all familiar with Conan. You kind of know what to expect when it comes to Conan. If you read one book, you got a good idea of what you're gonna get in the rest of the books, right? All right, guys. Other than that, I hope you guys like this video. So hit that like button, it helps out the channel. And if you want to see more of the same, hopefully you hit that subscribe button. You know, that way I'll keep you updated on your feed when the next video drops. Other than that, I just like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to watch me show off my books a little bit and hear me talk comics. And I'll check you guys out next time.